There are times in life when everything feels heavy. Doors do not open. Efforts do not bear fruit. You begin to wonder, is this bad luck following me? But look deeper. What you call bad luck is often the weight of unseen energy, of restless thoughts, of imbalance within and around you. Now imagine something very simple, something so ordinary that it rests quietly in your home, unnoticed salt. Yes, the same salt that touches your food every day also carries a silent power. It absorbs, it purifies, it balances. For centuries, people have used it not just for taste, but for cleansing the invisible burdens of life. But remember, it is not the salt alone that changes your life. It is your awareness. As April 21st approaches, take this as a moment of renewal, not because the date is magical, but because your intention is. Take a small bowl of salt and place it in a corner of your room. Sit beside it for a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. As you breathe out, imagine all your worries, your fears, your past disappointments flowing out of you and gently being absorbed. Do not rush. Do not force. Just allow. In that quiet moment, understand this truth: bad luck is not an enemy chasing you. It is often the echo of inner chaos. When the mind is restless, life appears restless. When the mind is clear, paths begin to open. Each day as you see that bowl of salt, let it remind you not of superstition but of stillness, of your ability to release what no longer serves you. And when April 21st arrives, do not expect fireworks or miracles. Instead, notice the subtle shift: a lighter heart, a calmer mind, a clearer vision. Because real transformation does not shout, it whispers. Let go of the idea that something outside controls your destiny. You are not here to fight bad luck. You are here to understand yourself. And when understanding arises, what you once called bad luck quietly fades away. So today, do not chase fortune. Do not fear misfortune. Simply cleanse your space, calm your mind, and walk forward with awareness. That is the true secret. Bad luck is not external. It is often a reflection of inner imbalance and restless thoughts. Bad luck is often not something that comes from outside forces, but something that slowly builds within our own mind and environment. When life feels stuck, when efforts seem wasted, and when every path appears blocked, we begin to believe that some invisible force is working against us. But in truth, what we call bad luck is many times a reflection of inner confusion, negative thinking, emotional burden, and lack of balance in our daily life. The mind is like a mirror. Whatever we carry inside, we begin to see outside. In this journey of understanding, simple things in nature can guide us toward awareness. One such element is salt. It is one of the most basic yet powerful substances found in every home. Salt is known for its natural ability to cleanse, preserve, and restore balance. When used with mindfulness, it becomes more than just a part of food. It becomes a symbol of purification. Placing salt in a quiet corner of your space is not about superstition, but about creating a reminder that you are ready to release negativity and welcome clarity. When a person sits in silence near a simple bowl of salt, it becomes a moment of reflection. In that stillness, one can observe thoughts without judgment. Slowly breathing in and out, a person can imagine their worries, stress, and emotional weight leaving the body and being absorbed away. This practice is not about magic. It is about training the mind to let go. The more we hold on to fear, regret, and frustration, the heavier life feels. But when we learn to release them, even for a few moments each day, we begin to feel lighter. True change does not come suddenly. It does not depend on dates, rituals, or external events. Instead, it begins quietly within us. When we shift our awareness, our entire perception of life changes. Problems that once felt huge begin to feel manageable. Paths that once seemed blocked start to open in unexpected ways. This is because clarity replaces confusion and peace replaces resistance. As we move forward in life, it is important to remember that no object or practice alone can change destiny. What truly transforms life is a calm and conscious mind. When inner peace grows, outer circumstances begin to align naturally. Bad luck loses its power when we stop feeding it with fear and start nurturing awareness instead. Salt symbolizes purification, helping absorb negative energy and create a sense of calm and balance. The feeling of bad luck is one of the most common human experiences, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. When life does not move in the direction we expect, we often assume that something outside us is responsible. We blame time, destiny, people, or unseen forces. But in reality, life responds deeply to the condition of our inner world. When thoughts are scattered, emotions are heavy, and the mind is filled with doubt, even small challenges begin to feel like major obstacles. This creates a cycle where negativity attracts more negativity, not because of magic, but because of mindset. To break this cycle, ancient wisdom often points towards simplicity and purification. One such simple element is salt, found in every household and used daily without much thought. Yet salt carries a symbolic meaning that goes beyond its physical use. It represents cleansing, preservation, and balance. When used with awareness, it becomes a reminder that just as salt removes impurities from food, we too can remove impurities from our thoughts and emotions. It is not the object itself that brings change, but the intention and awareness we attach to it. Creating a small moment of stillness in daily life can be powerful. Sitting quietly near a bowl of salt, one can observe the flow of thoughts without reacting to them. In this silence, the mind begins to settle. Breathing slowly and deeply allows the body to relax and the inner noise starts to fade. In that state, a person can mentally release fear, disappointment, anger, and worry. These emotions are not meant to be stored forever, they are meant to be acknowledged and let go. Many people wait for a special day or a lucky moment to change their lives, but transformation does not depend on dates. It depends on awareness. When the mind becomes clear, even ordinary days feel different. Problems do not disappear, but the strength to face them increases. What once felt like bad luck begins to look like a lesson or a temporary phase. This shift in perception is the beginning of real growth. Life begins to change when inner confusion is replaced with clarity. When we stop identifying with every negative thought, we create space for peace. In that space, new opportunities naturally appear. The world outside does not change first, the world inside changes, and then everything else follows. True change comes from awareness and intention, not from objects or rituals alone. Many people go through phases in life when everything feels blocked. No matter how hard they try, results do not match their effort. They start believing that bad luck is following them, as if some invisible barrier is standing between them and success. But when we observe life deeply, we realize that what we call bad luck is often not a force from outside, but a reflection of our inner state. The mind, when filled with stress, fear, and overthinking, creates a lens through which even small problems look large and permanent. Ancient practices often remind us that healing begins with simplicity. One of the simplest symbols of cleansing is salt. It is present in every home, yet its meaning goes beyond daily use. Salt has long been associated with purification and balance. It absorbs moisture, preserves food, and removes unwanted impurities. In the same way, it can serve as a symbolic reminder that we too can release emotional and mental heaviness. When used with awareness, it becomes a tool for reflection rather than superstition. When a person takes a few quiet moments in a day, sits still, and focuses on breathing, something subtle begins to change. The restless flow of thought starts to slow down. In that calm space, a person can visualize letting go of negativity, past regrets, present worries, and future fears. These emotions often accumulate silently, shaping how we experience life. But when they are consciously released, even for a short time, the mind feels lighter and more open. There is no special power in any object alone. The real power lies in attention and awareness. A bowl of salt placed in a room does not change destiny, but it can act as a reminder to pause and reflect. Every time a person sees it, they can remember to breathe, to let go, and to return to a peaceful state of mind. Over time, this simple habit can help reduce inner chaos and create emotional clarity. As clarity increases, perception changes. Situations that once felt like failure begin to look like lessons. Delays are no longer seen as punishment, but as preparation. This shift in understanding is where transformation begins. Life does not become perfect, but the way we experience life becomes more balanced. Ultimately, what dissolves the idea of bad luck is not external change, but inner awareness. When the mind becomes steady and calm, life naturally feels more aligned, and what once seemed like misfortune slowly loses its grip. Letting go of worries, fears, and past burdens creates space for clarity and new opportunities. There are moments in life when everything seems to move against us. Efforts feel wasted, opportunities appear out of reach, and even simple tasks become difficult. In such times, people often believe they are trapped under bad luck. But if we observe carefully, life rarely operates through fixed fortune or misfortune. Instead, it reflects the condition of our inner world. When the mind is filled with tension, doubt, and emotional clutter, the outer world appears equally disordered. The experience of bad luck is often born from this inner imbalance rather than from any external force. To understand this better, ancient wisdom often uses simple symbols from everyday life. One such symbol is salt. Though it is ordinary and found in every kitchen, salt carries a deeper meaning of cleansing and preservation. It removes impurities and restores balance in food, allowing things to stay pure and stable. In a similar way, it can serve as a reminder for mental and emotional cleansing, not because it holds magical power, but because it helps direct attention toward the idea of release and purification. When a person sits quietly and becomes aware of their breath, a subtle shift begins inside. The constant stream of thought starts to slow down, and the weight of emotions becomes less overwhelming. In this stillness, one can gently observe worries, fears, and past regrets without holding on to them. This practice of letting go is essential, because much of what we call bad luck is actually the burden of unresolved emotions carried over time. A simple object like a bowl of salt placed in a room can act as a mindful reminder. Every time it is seen, it encourages a pause, a moment to step back from mental noise and return to awareness. Over time, this repeated pause helps train the mind to become less reactive and more balanced. It is not the object that creates change, but the habit of reflection it inspires. As the mind becomes clearer, perception begins to shift. Problems do not necessarily disappear, but they lose their intensity. Situations that once felt like failure start to appear as temporary experiences or lessons for growth. This change in understanding reduces suffering and increases resilience. Ultimately, the idea of bad luck fades when awareness grows stronger. Life begins to feel less like a series of random misfortunes and more like a journey shaped by inner state. When the mind is calm and centered, even challenges become easier to face and life naturally moves toward balance and clarity. Real transformation is subtle and begins within a mind naturally attracts positive outcomes. There comes a point in human experience when a person starts questioning why life feels heavy, why efforts do not bring expected results, and why certain situations seem to repeat again and again. In such moments, the idea of bad luck appears very real. It feels as if an unseen force is blocking progress. However, when we look deeper with a calm and observant mind, we begin to understand that life is not controlled by fixed luck or misfortune. Instead, it is strongly influenced by the state of our inner consciousness. The outer world often reflects the inner world, just like a mirror reflects what stands before it. When thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, anger, or sadness, they create emotional disturbance within. This disturbance slowly affects decisions, reactions, and even how we perceive events. As a result, challenges feel larger than they actually are, and small setbacks feel like major failures. This continuous pattern creates the illusion of bad luck, but in truth it is a cycle of unbalanced thinking and emotional overload that shapes our experience. Ancient wisdom often points towards simplicity as a way to restore balance. Salt, a common and humble substance found in every home, is often associated with purification and stability. It preserves, cleanses, and restores balance in everyday life. When used as a symbol, it can remind us of the importance of inner cleansing. It is not about superstition or expecting miracles from objects, but about using simple tools to focus the mind on awareness and release. When a person sits in silence and observes their breath, something powerful begins to unfold. The mind, which is usually busy with endless thoughts, starts to settle. In that quiet space, a person can become aware of emotional burdens they have been carrying, past regrets, present worries, and future fears. By acknowledging these thoughts without resistance and letting them pass, a sense of lightness begins to emerge. A simple practice like placing salt in a corner of a room can act as a gentle reminder of this process. Every time it is seen, it can encourage a pause, a breath, and a return to awareness. Over time, this habit helps create inner space where stress no longer dominates every thought. It teaches the mind to slow down and observe rather than react. As inner clarity grows, perception of life changes. Situations that once felt like failure begin to appear as temporary experiences that carry lessons. Obstacles no longer define destiny but become part of growth. In this way, what people call bad luck slowly loses its meaning because awareness replaces fear and understanding replaces confusion.